It said muted. So, okay. Um, Hello, welcome to the January 23rd, 2025 meeting of the Amherst Transportation Advisory Committee. All of our members are here tonight, and Guilford Mooring is here as well. Thank you, Amber, for doing the minutes. All right, and we don't have any attendees, so we can go ahead and get started. I had been hoping that we would have more minutes to review because I know that one time we reviewed like 4 or 5 minutes and our agenda is kind of light today, but we'll just go through these items. Oh, right. And sorry, I guess we need to read the thing about remote meetings. Kim, do you have it or I can read something?
Yeah, I don't have it. I don't know why it's not.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. No, it's fine. So it just says, pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021 and extended by the Chapter 22 of the Acts of 2022, this meeting is being conducted via remote means. Members of the public who wish to access the meeting may do so via Zoom or phone. No in-person attendance of the members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time. All right. Thank you. Okay. All right. So the first item I had up on our agenda, and we did have our TSO liaison or the council liaison to TAC come to the last meeting, George Ryan, and he gave us an update. And then after that, TSO also had a meeting. So I know this has come up a lot. So I just wanted to share. I did send, I'm sorry I didn't send it earlier, but I sent the TSO's report that they had reported out to the town council. And I have the report here. So basically, they're still reviewing the different elements they'd like of the proposal to create the Transportation and Parking Commission. They are planning to meet with, and I believe that the chair of TSO, Andy Steinberg, had recently talked to somebody in Northampton, but Northampton has a Transportation and Parking Commission, and they have for many years. I think at least 20 or 30 years. And so they're inviting somebody affiliated with that Transportation Parking Commission to come and talk to TSO as they move forward in reviewing the idea of having it here. One question that's come up is about whether a counselor should be on that commission or not. And Northampton does have a few counselors on their version. There's also some questions too about, one, well, what authority the Transportation Commission would be given in terms of, in which cases would it be recommending, which is mainly the way the Northampton one works, and in which cases would it be making decisions, final decisions? Um, and but there are questions too about like how it would fit into, if it's mainly in the cases where it's making recommendations, is it similar to TAC in that it goes from the council to TSO to this commission and back to the TSO? I mean, or is there a more efficient process or fewer steps? So we will see. And according to TSO, they're optimistically hoping that they would be reporting back to the council by the end of March, which is a few months from now. I have asked the town manager to consider filling the TAC vacancy that we have, which we've had since September 2023 when Tate Coleman stepped down. And one of the things has been like, well, there's going to be a recommendation about the Transportation Commission, but I just don't want us to wait. And I also think that once TSO, if they do follow this time frame and makes a decision, move it forward in March, like it's still got to go to the council and then we'll go back from the council. It just seems like it could take a while. And so if anybody has any thoughts on that, I can share them with TSO. And also it's not clear yet. I think that the council committee appointments, they turn over at the beginning of the calendar year. And so it's on the agenda for the council meeting next Monday, the 27th, I guess, on who's going to be appointed to TSO. So it's not clear if all the current members will remain on TSO or not.
Mm.
But I hope that the majority of them will, at least for the continuity, because they've been doing a lot of great stuff with transportation. So. Okay, any thoughts, anybody? Okay, moving on. Okay, the next one was safe routes to school updates. Chris, if you had anything to share.
I would have had something to share, but my meeting with Dwayne Shamble is the ARPS representative from the administration who's going to be working on the Safe Routes Rodeo in the spring, and Tori from Safe Routes to School, the Western Mass liaison, and I were supposed to meet yesterday, but with a couple other folks at the school, but the meeting got canceled. So we have to get that rescheduled. And, you know, the main thing I want to do is make sure we get community partnerships and co-sponsorships underway for the bike rodeo in late May. Tracy has been working with, hopefully she'll have reached out to a couple of school board members because she's interested in passing a health and wellness policy that would, you know, make sure that that bicycle and pedestrian safety is sort of enshrined in bylaw as, you know, important curriculum to have in the schools. So I haven't heard the update on that.
So
And then,
Chris, can you, who is this? Tracy who?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean Tracy. I didn't mean you. I actually meant
I was just, what, who is it?
Tori.
I'm sorry. Oh,
Tori
Tori,
from
okay.
Mascot Safe Routes to School.
All right, got it. Okay.
Yeah, and then you know, and then for me, I'm just kind of waiting for the green light, and I will start hopefully pulling in the rec department, the APD, Department of Public Works, Guilford, you know, around a bike rodeo for the district in the springtime. So, you know, we had talked about the end of May. Obviously the parents are going to want to do another walk and roll to school day, and that'll be in the beginning of
Awesome.
May. And May is bike month. So, you know, all said and done, I think if we can just meet, we'll be able to sort of start moving forward.
And Chris, do you know the day of the statewide, you know, the bike roll and walk to school day?
Not off the top of my head, but
I was just curious. It's usually what, like the second Wednesday or something? It's on a Wednesday usually, right?
yeah.
And does it seem like, is it Bill who's the bike officer with the APD? Is that Bill or is that somebody else?
No, that's a guy named Casey.
Oh, Casey, right. Yeah,
So
okay.
Bill Laramie is the community outreach
Right.
officer, so he would likely be the one to engage with us on the planning of the rodeo and that kind of stuff, but I don't know who they would send, you know, presumably the bike officer would be a good person.
And Casey seems great. Like I remember at the fall walk, bike and roll day to school day, like he participated in the group that went from the South Amherst Common to Crocker, and he was great. So, and I think he also went with the kids from Fort River, right?
Correct.
The fifth graders.
He
Yeah.
accompanied the kids from Fort River on their bikes up to the mock town council meeting. So
Sure.
the May 7th is the May, I think. No, it looks like May 8th
Okay.
is the bike and walk to
Oh,
school.
May 8th. Okay. Somehow I thought it was on Wednesdays, but all right.
Well, am I looking at the wrong year? I probably pulled up 2024. Yeah, I couldn't find it on the flagship events. So it would be May 7th is the first Wednesday in May
Right, right.
for 2025, the year that we're actually in.
And of course, MassDOT is holding its like annual conference the same day. So, as they often do.
So hopefully I'll have a little bit more once we get that meeting.
So now,
Although I
I'm
did
gonna go ahead.
actually, I should tell you guys that I did have a kind of chance meeting with Dr. Dr. Z. Like right as school was wrapping up in December. I had to swing by the family center because we had several families worth of coats to donate. So
Oh, great.
and I ran into her and we talked about it, that she knew all about the bike rodeo.
Huh.
She's into the idea. She herself has never ridden a bike. So we talked about that and how she was raised in the US Virgin Islands, and you know, her parents were just sort of terrified of traffic on the island, so they never let the kids learn how to ride bikes. So we had a nice, pleasant conversation, but she was really up to speed on safe routes to school, and she was up to speed on the bike rodeo, and that made me pretty happy because you know, she's always scheduled to come to these meetings when we have them, and she is unable to, but clearly she's been being kept abreast.
Good.
Joe?
Hey, everybody. I was just
Hey.
wondering, has TAC or Amherst ever done the township like a kid's bike giveaway? It wouldn't be hard to get funding for that with the right partnership. So you just mentioned community partnerships. I'd be interested in that. Be a nice thing to pair with the rodeo or with Bike Month or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good idea.
You know, Joe, why don't you shoot me a note? I mean, if you would be willing to, you know, kind of take the lead on just.
Yeah,
figuring out
I could send
who
you
to
a
talk
list.
to. I
What's
think
your
that-
email? Oh, I have your email. Why don't I
Yeah,
take
it's
that? I'll send you a list of
CLL800
questions about.
AOL, but
Mhm.
I know that several of the parents, in particular in the Wildwood PGO, want to also try to be giving out as many helmets as possible for
Oh,
free
perfect. You can pair
at that
up.
event. And
Mhm.
if we could give little kids bikes too, I mean, it just all around, it's a win-win.
Could I send you a
Yeah.
list of like 5 questions and about like who's been involved in the past, and that'll give me enough to make
Sure,
a
of
proposal
course.
for
I
that.
mean, I know. So one thing, is that there was, when my kids were in elementary school, there was a bike rodeo that was held after school at Crocker Farm and Morse Hill, like the outdoor recreation people provided all the bikes.
Oh, that's nice.
But that
I
was like,
really
that
like
wouldn't
the,
be giveaway though, right? They
no, it
took them
wasn't a
back at the
giveaway. It
end.
was their
Yeah,
bikes. Yeah, they did. I
yeah.
mean, I really like the idea. I mean, sure, if we could give away bikes, that's great. But I also really love the idea of giving kids helmets and like having helmet
Mhm.
fittings and giving lights and like kind of smaller items, which
Yeah.
I haven't even figured out like how to get all of that funded.
With tax breaks and like and kids gear
Yeah, sure.
and companies and groups, like it wouldn't be hard to
That's
put
great.
together like a cross
Awesome. I would love to
mutual
chat with you
like
more about that.
thing. It would just be, I'll have to look detailed and like how much the costs are and everything and who is out there at the moment.
Right.
Yeah, and
If we have it
Wildwood
till May, that should be
PGO,
something that's pretty easy to do, I think.
And I like the I do like helmets too, just in terms of how they can tie in with like Valley Bikes, which is the e-bike share program, because our program here, it doesn't include any helmets or anything. Well, of course,
It's
I
also
realize, of
less
course, that's
like
like older
less like if
people.
I
Yeah,
don't
I
get
know.
a
Those are like
bike,
grown-ups,
yeah,
but yeah.
it won't
But just
create any
also,
jealousy if somebody doesn't get
no,
a
it's
bike
true.
or they run out or
Well,
something.
that's why I was wondering about like the smaller items too.
Yeah.
Give everybody smaller items and stuff. And so,
But you'd be surprised. You can get probably like a good amount of bikes, I think. So.
wow, that's exciting. Yeah. I mean, that could be something too, to work with the family center to distribute the bikes like to the families that need it the most. So
I'll pop in there and just start seeing what's up.
cool.
great. Shoot
That's
me
a great
note.
idea. And So I had a question, Chris, so I know like earlier, like in the fall, Tori had been going to each of the elementary schools and doing, I think they were all like pedestrian type education workshops, right? Like often through the PE teacher. So did she hit, was it third graders she was doing? Did she hit all of the schools basically? Like all the classes?
No, she went in person to Crocker, and did the presentations with Dustin, the PE teacher, and I think, I didn't ask her if she did, I mean, the curriculum is pedestrian safety for grades 2 and under, and
Oh,
bike
okay, got it.
and bike safety for grades 3 and up. So I don't know, but I know Dustin was really into it, the PE teacher at Crocker. So now he's going to go to get the whatever it's called, the
The certification to do it,
continuing
nice.
education, right, that he can
Yeah,
get
great.
to be able to do it. And then the Fort River PE teacher was just so enthusiastic. She essentially just educated herself and did it herself.
Oh, sure. I just wondered
And
like if we could kind of
yeah.
claim like every second grade class in the
Yeah,
district, or I don't
no,
know,
and
like if
then
we're there yet or anything.
there was I don't know what happened. I know that there was a tentative plan for her to go to Wildwood with Keith Burgoyne, the PE teacher there, but something happened. So I don't know if it got pushed to the spring or what, but he and Tori are definitely in touch.
So that's
So
exciting,
we're
right?
getting there.
So
We're getting there.
no, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And that could be something even, we could report that out, both sharing it with the district, which I'm sure that there aren't that many people in the district who totally know, but even sharing it with the town. People talk a lot of times about, maybe towards the end of the school year or something, we could do some sort of summary, or maybe
Yeah.
with a press release of part of, the May events. Just kind of put in there, like a lot of the second graders are now doing this curriculum. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Just being like, look at all the great stuff that's going on. Just a thought. Cool. Thank
Yeah,
you.
we're inching along. I mean, I'm feeling really much more comfortable about where we are now than I thought I would in the beginning of the academic year. And Dwayne Shamble, who does the outside partnerships with, the recreation department and the police department around the VELA program and the morning
Yeah.
mentoring programs.
Hmm.
He's been assigned to Safe Routes. So I think, we have our person now, and, I just
Right.
think we're starting to pick up steam.
Cool. Thank you. So Guilford, did you ever hear back from the school district at all about hours for the signs?
No,
Okay. School speed limit, time frames,
no,
okay.
we haven't heard back. And Rupert leaves
Is
tomorrow.
retiring effective tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't.
Do
we'll
we
stir.
know who the new like interim facilities person is, or?
I think we know who the interim is, but he's supposed. Well, we know who the interim is for now.
Oh,
Who's
who's the interim?
I think it's been for a little
Ben.
while.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know that Rupert was asked by Dr. Z to write up his thoughts regarding it, and regarding the signs and, et cetera. And so he did.
Oh, great.
And he never heard back. And then I was asked to write up a memo about, the kind of state of play of the whole thing, and I did too, and I submitted it along, and Dwayne Shamble is the one who got back to me. So I
Okay.
don't know if he's also going to be the person kind of repping the school district on that issue, or if he just because he's working on the bike rodeo stuff, that somehow he kind of got tasked with the follow-up. But Dwayne Shamble has also been following up with me on the roundabouts on Southeast Street. asking for more information.
Interesting.
Yeah, ask for the, the schematics from the, I don't know what the name of it, PAR Corporation or whatever their name is. So I
No.
Well,
sent them
PAR,
It's CDM Smith.
CDM stuff,
no,
so I
s-
sent him a
so
bunch of
PAR
that.
had done that earlier study with like the traffic counts,
That's all they
right?
did.
Right,
Yeah, the only roundabout one is CDM Smith.
right.
Sorry, I was not speaking with precision about which documents I sent. But,
No, okay.
I sent them all along to Dwayne. So again,
Okay.
does it mean that he's going to be, I don't know what it means. I just know that Dwayne has been asking.
Well, that's good. Well, and right, and I mean, Rupert had come to our meeting, so that was always helpful. The joint meeting like with TSO and with one TAC when we had it at city town hall. So, okay. But there's no I mean, right, Guilford, there's no updates on that right now with, what's gonna
Southeast
happen with
Street?
Southeast Street, right? The council hasn't, TSO hasn't made, did TSO make a
TSO
final recommendation?
TSO made their recommendation to go back and look at 2 more things, and we'll work on that.
Okay,
As
but
long
it's
as it's
pending
funded.
it's pending funding, yeah, okay,
Yes.
all right.
I would love to get us, I know that I wasn't here when we had somebody from TSO, but I would love to get an update on the funding aspect of it. Maybe now is not the time, and I understand that, but maybe Tracy, I'll just ask you about that offline.
I don't think we have, I mean,
Well, I guess it's
Guilford's
pretty
looking,
simple. Yeah,
Gil-
there is no funding.
yeah,
There's no
Guilford is
funding.
looking for funding to do a study. There's no infrastructure funding yet, but I mean, there are some potential grants. But I mean, I
Well,
think the
there-
town would have to know what they were gonna apply to ask for, like,
Right.
before you can apply for infrastructure money. So,
Right.
is that right, Guilford?
Yes.
So,
We have to
we're
spend
not
money to
there
apply
yet.
for grants. You gotta dance for the
So-
man. You gotta pay to dance and then hopefully get more money.
You gotta spend
But
money
like,
to
he
make
wasn't,
money.
right, I mean, I had seen some like, news about, well, I don't know where it all stands now, but about like some of the infrastructure, like that there was some money for like school infrastructure projects and other projects, and
You have to have your plan done.
Right.
no, I understand.
Yeah.
But I also heard that there's currently in a presidential executive order that puts on hold like infrastructure, like spending for both the infrastructure bill as well as like the energy infrastructure. So even projects that are like, that are already out, like they say they won't pay the invoices until they review everything.
Yes.
Okay,
Enough said.
but
Yeah.
enough said. All right.
And remember where
Um,
we live.
What's that?
What is that?
Remember what state we live in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We are only 2 states in the union that had no counties vote for the current president.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a mark against us, clearly. Because
That,
that's how we roll these days.
Yeah.
It actually depends on way you look at it. It's a mark in favor of us, really, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know. I have been on some teams like with funding. Go to the states that had, Republican Congress people. And not to Massachusetts. But anyway, okay. So let's see. So other updates I'd asked for, so Guilford, I just wanted to hear a little more of like what's happening with Heatherstone, like how it's worked out. I drove over there the other day. It looks like it's pretty great. And I mean, do you guys think it will just stay? And is it working with the snow? And
It's working fine. I mean, it's working better than it was before. I mean, people are either getting used to it or they've just been, who's here, beating the submission and they're not complaining anymore.
no, I mean, right, there's the 3 mini roundabouts, and do they all have those like little triangle approaches, like raised approaches? Or
Yeah,
do,
they all have
I
on
mean,
on
so
Heatherstone
those
they
seem like
do.
they help too, yeah. And then, and they all have the signage, which is all, good, and
Yes, and
like
the
in the
sign
snow, it seemed like people were navigating it pretty well. And what about the sidewalk there? When I was there recently, most of it wasn't shoveled, but anyway, it's on the west, the east side, is that right?
yeah, I think the neighborhood would like the town to do it.
Uh, okay,
Well, I would like the town to shovel my sidewalk, but I know it's not a reality, so I shovel it myself.
thank you.
Thanks.
But what I hear from people sometimes though is they say, like, well, you shovel all the streets around my street. How come I'm expected to shovel on my street? But
Because you live on a small street and they
so,
plow on, they seem to do it on Lincoln, but whatever. I don't mind. Because I do it for my neighbors, not for myself. And my
no, it's great.
mailman.
And I have a 94-year-old neighbor, and
Yeah.
after the last
Exactly.
snowstorm, the morning after it had all stopped, he was out before 8 a.m. with a snowblower, and he had done his driveway. He did a whole bunch of the neighbors' driveways. He wasn't kidding around.
Yeah, I
You-
think they should
So-
take a video of him and show it around town.
So
So,
have you seen a movie called A Man Named Otto?
Yes,
That's that man.
yeah, it
the
is.
man named Otto.
Yes.
I don't know the
Or if
man
you
named
want to
Otto.
watch if you watch the Danish version, it's a man named
Uh-huh.
Uwe.
Okay. Anyway, I was impressed that he was doing it so early.
Aw, because he
So.
cares about his neighbors.
Doing fun.
He didn't know it's really nice. And he has a snowblower, and it was light, fluffy snow. So
Yeah.
it was all good. Yeah, and then, okay, so other road project updates. I didn't know if we had any other updates. Somebody had asked, one of the TAC members had asked about Henry Street, but I did reach out to Chief Ting about coming and talking about speed management and speed enforcement and things, and he's offered to come, and it seemed like a good time that we could talk about Henry Street when he comes.
Great.
Because it does have that special zone, the special
Yeah.
safety zone. I don't know any other projects. I mean, I know you're not doing much in the snow, Guilford, but over the winter. But the roundabout at Amity and Lincoln, Amity and University, right? Will that go out in the
We-
spring? It sounds like.
We haven't got the contract
So-
back.
Okay.
We have the paperwork for the contract finally, and we have to work out a couple of details, and hopefully it'll get going so that we can do something in the late summer, early fall.
Right when athletics.
Before the students come
Right,
back, I was gonna say.
I was hoping for our first football game.
Oh, nice, nice. Well, they
You-
closed the streets. They closed University Drive completely, like some of those days, right?
I know they close them for like move-in day. They inconvenience all the residents for move-in day, but they don't really tell us that much about it. It seems just kind of one-sided.
Yep,
It's
it
our
is.
chance to get a little bit back.
And what about like 116 South, like the Pomeroy, the Potline,
That's it.
yeah.
That intersection's all
Is it?
done.
Oh, it
you
is?
mean
It's all done?
do you mean the one farther south, the Potwine and
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one I meant. I meant Potline, yeah.
we stopped for the winter,
What?
but it'll start right
Okay.
back up.
But the crosswalks aren't up yet, are they?
Crosswalks aren't up, none of the islands
Yeah,
are
okay.
up. We just did some
Yeah,
widening.
okay. Oh, okay, got it. Like
That's
with the
gonna
bus
be a
stops, 'cause-
roundabout, right?
No, it's just meant to be splitter islands and crosswalks and bus stops right now.
Oh, okay.
But the way it's laid out is that you could put two roundabouts
Yeah.
at both ends of the work zone in the future.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool. All right, any other projects people have in mind? No, can't think of it. And then, and what's the status with the funding of the I know last time I asked you, and unfortunately I have not been following some of these meetings as well as I used to. Um, did the council approve any additional funding for 2025 for sidewalks and roads and things?
The last meeting, they referred it to the TSO to discuss.
But wasn't it somebody from TSO who was like, okay,
Well, it goes to TSO and it goes to finance too. So
finance, right,
may just be
okay.
finance is going to talk the most about it.
And that's all just for the 2025, like fiscal year 2025, which will end in June. Yeah.
Well, it's for next construction season.
Oh, okay, got it.
That's the misnomer. I mean, we work in construction seasons, not in fiscal
Right.
years. So we actually span 2 fiscal years.
Got it. And I had reached out to Kathy Shane about this, so I know that the members haven't been appointed to JCPC yet. I think that's on the council agenda for next time, but also if requests had come in related to like bike ped or road infrastructure type stuff from residents. Have you heard of any? I
Really,
don't
the
know.
only
Do you guys
requ-
usually get those or?
we've had requests for sidewalks in some pretty difficult areas, and we've
Mhm.
had requests for rapid flashing beacons in some areas and so forth.
And you applied for a grant for some more, right? Didn't you? You said?
Yeah, we applied for that state grant where they were like
Yeah.
doing, and we haven't heard anything back.
Okay. And all they do, I think, is like pay for the RFB and then you have all the installation costs and all that. So,
Correct, which is
and you also had pointed out that like many municipalities applied for that. So,
I guess a lot of them did, yes. So they're
yeah,
trying to figure out what
okay.
they're gonna do.
All right. Okay, so Amber had sent us a few minutes. And I would love to kind of keep going through minutes. We got like really far behind. And so I had told her when the agendas were light that we could go through minutes. I can pull up the minute. They seemed pretty good to me. I went through the first one. And the nice thing is I really liked how we had so many people here at those meetings. Hold on, I'll just share.
Reading one of the sets of minutes, I think it's the 15th, where the Palmer, when we discussed the Palmer train stop,
Yeah. Mhm.
made me think, I do think there's been some movement in a good way on the Palmer train
There
stop.
has, yeah.
Yeah, like maybe we should try to reconnect with the
Right.
advocates for that.
Mhm.
Sure. That's a good idea. I think they did reach out once. West East Rail is still moving forward. I haven't really been following the Palmer piece of it, but we can invite them to a meeting.
Yeah, I think Palmer, right, like any hope of Amherst sort of revitalizing its train station kind of needs the Palmer stop, right?
Right. So I went through like, go for it.
It doesn't really
Whoever
need the
was-
Palmer stop. They just want the Palmer stop.
Oh, well, yeah, that wasn't really the way it was termed to us when we were.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Well, I think
yeah.
because I also see it as like an economic driver and other things. Like historically, Palmer had been the intersection of like 7 different rail lines and things. So there was a lot of rail activity in Palmer.
Yeah, they're just making it sound like we need it to get our buy-in, but we've got buy-in anyway, so we didn't really need it.
So, anyway, I had gone through and just like made some edits. Like I added in information. Well, this is if you can see this, right? This is the original version. And then I just kind of copy edited some of this. I like marked it up a bunch because including spelling Stefan's name right. So I also just added, just the context of who, Chris, as you were mentioning, like who Anne and Ben are, like that they're citizens for Palmer Rail Stop. So that's
Right.
there. to give us like a little bit of context and, you know. So, but I think, do we want to just go ahead and approve these then? Because
I move to approve.
Yeah, I
All
mean,
right.
well, we have to move to approve as
as amended,
edited. Yeah,
as edited,
as
yeah.
amended.
yeah.
I move to approve as amended.
All right.
A
I can
second.
second that. Yeah. Okay, so everyone who, can people vote if they weren't at the minute, like at the meeting with? Okay,
Theoretically,
so
yeah.
all in favor, so.
Aye.
So Marcus and Joe is here and Chris and, okay. So everybody say aye, so that's 5 of us, 5, okay.
No, I
thank you.
can't. I was not here.
No, right,
You're
right,
choosing to abstain. Yeah.
I'm abstaining.
okay. I think Stefan said aye too, right? Yes. All right.
Yeah. Why not?
Okay, so 5-0. So we did those minutes, so. Amber will be happy with us, so that's the 5/16/2024 minutes. 5 and 0.
5:30.
And then. Oh, and then the 5/30 too. Hold on, I'll stop sharing. I'll share those. And. Yeah, I hadn't finished, like. I was just cleaning them up a little bit too, but I didn't really, I mean, it was consistent with my notes for those meetings. I'll show you this too. So these are the ones too, and I spelled Stefan's name right again. And this time Marcus missed the meeting, but again, we had a great turnout, which is awesome. And so this was the meeting that the town manager had been going to bring a transportation commission charge to us, but then it wasn't ready.
Right.
Still
So
not
I
ready.
so he came to us like in June, but then there were things here, just like Amber had marked that we went through all the minutes from August 2024 to November 2024, but it was 2023. Just a few little
Yeah.
things like that.
So
Right.
someone needs to say as edited or whatever.
As edited, yeah. It's
So-
there we.
Yeah.
That all sound okay.
I'm going to abstain because I wasn't there, but
I will approve as edited.
Okay. All right, and I will second, and all in favor, say aye. 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 Okay. Stefan, are you with us?
So fine.
Okay. All right, so I will. Okay, so we approve those. Nice.
Excellent.
Well, I think this is like our fastest meeting ever. All right.
Okay.
Life is busy. Okay, and then I wanted to get on our agenda about when our next meeting date could be. Which I know Marcus now has other meetings on Thursday nights every
yeah.
other week.
Well, yeah, but yeah, I think this Thursday is fine. Well,
Oh,
it
yeah,
is
yeah,
fine. I
okay.
don't have another one. I don't have anything else tonight.
No, right.
Yeah.
And your meetings don't start when ours start, right? Like
No.
they're like later a little.
Yeah.
So what was next suggestion?
So I guess the thing is, do we think like if Amber could give us a bunch of minutes, then we could have a meeting that's a little light and we could go through a bunch of minutes too.
Sure.
So do we think we want to try to have like 2 meetings in February? Is one good? It's a short month, and I don't want to do it during the February school vacation just because we might not get as many people then. And
Yeah,
I'm not
unlikely,
entirely sure
heading
what
to-
my family is doing that week.
I've got a ice hockey tournament, so.
Ice hockey tournament, fun. I
Mhm.
remember those. Okay. But not Lake Placid, right? When's the Lake
No,
Placid?
no, thank God. Well, the Cape. So
Oh, the Cape. Oh, yeah.
Do you want to just do the 27th?
Yeah, so
I
we could
can't
do
do
it.
that, but that's fine. I'm on study.
Okay.
day, so.
All right. Do we want to do a meeting on the 13th and then we'll just see
Sure.
if we want to try to have a second meeting? Well, we'd have to have it on the 27th and Ken can't come.
I can't, that's fine, yeah,
Why don't we put in a meeting for the 13th?
okay.
And hopefully, so the new TSO will be organized by then. Hopefully they will have met. Hopefully we'll have some updates from them. Maybe we'll have a new liaison. Guilford, does that work for you?
Yeah. It should. Yeah, it should.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Guilford, your daughter is now the something.
is that right?
Yeah.
I was gonna
Oh, the
ask.
Mooring family.
Wow, all the
Taking
planner
over
and the
Western Mass
I don't
one town at a
know.
time.
New
Yeah.
Not an
Salem.
engineer, a planner.
Yeah, the position is half the planner for them and half the town coordinator, which is basically their town administrator.
So
Okay,
cool.
cool.
I was wondering if that was her, and I was like,
Yep.
oh my gosh.
She
It's our
was
youngest.
beaming Guilford in those.
So do
town-
your
what town
other
is it?
kids go into
Yeah.
public service too?
No.
I know.
That's so awesome.
I have
must be
one that
so-
works at CVS and one that works at Big Y.
Okay. Well, there you go.
The corporate office at Big Y. I have to keep saying that. She's
Oh, right.
I keep calling her
where
Dude
where is the corporate office at Big Y?
in Springfield.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's right by Smith and Wesson.
Hmm.
Oh,
Across
Oh,
the street
oh.
from there.
interesting.
That's so.
I only know that because I go to a rink every once in a while down
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, we need to stay
Uh-huh.
away from you should stay away from meeting on the 27th because there's a hockey game that night.
You mean a UMass hockey game?
Yeah,
Oh. Do you have season tickets? Anyway,
we do.
nice.
We need to do that really.
The hockey
And
games
basketball
are
won last
pretty
night too.
entertaining.
That was good.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
Huh.
So, did we have any other? I had a few other items. I was just trying to pull up some slides I had seen, but does anybody else have anything else?
I actually have to leave. I've got to take my son
Okay.
to practice. So,
Okay,
but I will see you guys on the 15th, 13th.
13th.
Bye,
Okay.
Marcus.
See you guys.
Bye.
Yeah.
All right, if I can't find this, I'm just gonna have to pull this up separate and then share it with you guys. So do we have any other updates? So one thing I wanted to share is how, when I was at a conference in DC, like a big transportation conference that has about, I don't know, 12,000 people.
Wow.
I went to a presentation by MassDOT, which was really interesting, and they were talking about, hold on, I'm gonna pull it up. But they were talking about how MassDOT is really changing to like focus when you design roadways on what speed you want the roadway to be, like the design speed, and not looking at like 85th percentile speed and setting speed limits and things, but really being deliberate about it. So
Can you
I
say
thought
that
was
again?
pretty-
Or describe that
Yeah, I
again?
mean, I can send a link to her presentation. So the person who presented is Carrie Lavallee, who's she's a UMass grad and she's also the chief engineer for MassDOT. And I'll just pull up.
But I just don't actually know how speeds are set now, and you said that
Oh, okay.
she was suggesting a change in that.
Well, I mean, so MassDOT has started to look at that and to change some of it already. So
Mhm.
traditionally, I mean, Guilford would know much better than I as like because he's an engineer, but that, sometimes speed limits would be set, based on how fast people were already driving. So there's a model where people use the 85th percentile speed of the existing traffic flow, and you set the speed limit around there. But
Okay.
what this is saying is that you want to look at like the context of where the roads are. And you want to make sure that when you're building the roads and when you're upgrading the roads, that you're intentionally trying to make them like come out to be the speed you want them to come out to be. So
Oh.
you're building in like traffic calming and like other features so that people are going the speed you're looking for. Instead of just saying, oh, we have to make the speed limit higher because that's, I mean, obviously speed limits alone don't do everything with it. Right? Can you guys see this presentation? So she had just, I can share it. I mean, and there's the whole like MassDOT design guide about that they are focused on, incorporating design speed. What is target speed? So it's the speed that you want the vehicles to be operating at in different contexts, including like in neighborhoods and in downtowns and things too. And so you want to identify speed management measures that can help achieve that. They've done some different speed management reports there, including one that cited a bunch of things that Amherst has done, including the raised crosswalks on like 116 near Amherst College and Route 9 near Amherst College, and also at UMass. Those really big speed humps, they're all mentioned in the report. So they're just saying, to focus on this idea of target speed, about what speed you want to be there, and then designing the road so that you do that. So, this is just about reducing risks and how at higher speeds you can't see people as well. And so, like, I'll just show you this thing about. So they're just saying here, like in different types of areas, that you want to aim the speeds to be in these different, ranges. And then make sure that the road width and like all the road characteristics are set up so that you are making people go those speeds. And they also talked about how like after they do projects, that they will do some speed studies and then look at adjusting the speed limits accordingly and so on. So, it just seems like, there's some parts of Amherst that it seems like we have speed limit signs where speed limit signs might be pretty old. So, after Amherst adopted that chapter 9017C, which makes the default speed limit 25 miles per hour in anywhere that doesn't already have speed limits, like Jason Skills went through, and he identified like what are the other speed limits in town, like which areas have them. But if you look at that, like some of those areas have like changed significantly in terms of like how they're developed and things like that. And so maybe some of those historic speed limits are set, in my opinion, like higher than they should be, but and so just like being more intentional about some of that. So I don't know, I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
And of course, right, the lower speeds are like better for safety overall, particularly for vulnerable road users. So, yeah, so that was kind of the main thing on my mind. And I don't know, and I was wondering too, if Guilford, I know that DPW is not in charge of this anymore, but if DPW has heard anything about like the snow, the sidewalk plowing and the, snow, do people still complain to you and they just get
Nope.
forwarded to
Yeah,
inspection?
they all get forwarded to inspections.
Okay.
So
So you don't even know if there's complaints?
nope,
Okay.
no. The one you sent was, it's actually still the residents' responsibility to shovel their sidewalk.
Yeah.
So if it includes a crosswalk ramp, that is part of what they're supposed to shovel.
Right, okay.
So, but then again, the
But
one
my
you
issue is
pointed-
just like about when plows are like, it doesn't really seem fair to make a resident. So I'll show people. I
well,
had,
no, in that case, they're not supposed to plow in the cross.
right, yeah,
And we had a long talk with the guys who did it, and they know they're not supposed
okay,
to plow it in.
okay,
But then again, Amherst needs to decide what they want in a lot of things. And one of the things is snow and sidewalks. Is the DPW, do they want a DPW that comes through and removes every bit of snow and cleans everybody's driveway end and cleans all the sidewalks perfectly? If that's what they want, they need to pay for it. They need to fund
right,
it, which we're not funded for that.
no,
The biggest complaints we get are people calling about their driveway and why'd you leave a big pile in my driveway?
Well, I mean, that's where I wasn't sure with some of the plows, just in terms of, and I've heard this on Route 9, like Route 9 and Hadley sometimes, like when I've contacted businesses there about the sidewalk, the snow on their sidewalks, like some have said, well, we cleared the sidewalk and then the plows like came through and like put all the snow back on the sidewalk. And at the end of people's driveways, I mean, people are used to clearing that little pile, but I'll just show people because Guilford brought it up, but so the one that, because it's just in my neighborhood, and so I walk there a lot, is like the RFB crosswalk that's at Amity and Lincoln. And that for the past few winters, it's just always had like big piles of snow. Because the plows actually, they actually pile snow up like right where the curb cut is and things. And it's like we have this nice RFB crosswalk and I just want people to be able to access it. And I also know that like one person who uses this route a lot is like, yeah, I mean, it seems in terms of the past to get to like Big Y and things that Amity is used often. I just wanted it to be clear, and it's always really challenging if a plow has piled up the snow because then it takes so much longer to ever melt. So Guilford, are you telling me that the plows won't do that again?
We're not supposed to.
Okay. I wasn't sure. Thank you. Thank you for reaching out to them. So the last couple of years, it's always been these big piles right there,
Yeah.
which have been like frustrating to me. So, well, thank you for talking to them and hopefully.
But if you live on Pelham Road or Main Street, when the plow comes by, it is going to put the snow back in the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Pelham Road's so tiny. Yeah.
There's a couple of roads like that. I mean, even the new section of Route 9, the state put in, the sidewalk is right next to the road, so you're gonna get spill over.
So that's a state road. So is the state plowing that then?
The state plows it, yeah. They plow from the center of town to through Hadley all the way to Jackson Street School, basically in Northampton.
Okay, wow. Because like I know, for example, like I contacted like the Hampshire Mall because some years like they've had huge piles like on the sidewalks and the curb cuts like right near the entrance to the Hampshire Mall. Which would be, like over 6 feet tall or whatever, and they would be there for a really long time. And that's just, I mean, I love having that sidewalk there, but when it's not passable, then people are walking in the street. But the Hampshire Mall person I connected with there, she said, well, we clear it and then it's the state plows that make the big piles. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the answer is, except for to ask them not to do it. I mean, they do have rules with the state plowing contracts about that they can't, throw snow off of bridge overpasses and they can't throw snow onto like railroad tracks. And couldn't we have rules? Like, couldn't there also be rules in the contract? You can't put snow in big curb cuts or something. I don't know. But I know sometimes they have trouble finding people to plow the state roads, especially out Western Mass. Okay. Anyway, does anybody have anything else? No. Doing a great job. And it was really impressive, as I said in my email, Guilford, about how like the roads were clear really soon after the snow and the sidewalks were clear too. Even though you do that as a courtesy, but it was right away. And I had to drive my son. My son was supposed to take a bus back to upstate New York to go to college, and his bus got canceled. I drove him and like all the roads were clear, which was amazing because it'd only been a few hours.
It wasn't that bad of a storm.
No.
It was
I'm
light
curious.
snow that helped a lot, but
Yeah, I mean, for us, the problem was the first couple hours where it was sleeting and it left that ice on the bottom.
well, and then there was like a lot of black ice like the next day. That's what we experienced. But anyway, it's always nice to have it because it was still the weekend. So
Yep.
thank you guys. All right, thank everybody, and so we'll meet on the 13th. And so-
Thanks,
all right,
guys.
thank you all. Okay,
Bye.
bye.
Bye, Lucy.
Bye. Bye, Lucy.
Bye.
Thanks for
Bye, Lucy.
coming.
See you soon.